Let me tell you something, kid. People like them, they think they've got it all figured out. Oh, they're clever, all right. They sit there on their pedestals, staring down at you like you're nothing more than a pawn in their grand design. A piece to be moved and manipulated for their amusement. But here's the thing. You're not the pawn. You're not some disposable cog in their machine. No, no, no. The truth is they made one colossal mistake thinking you'd never walk away. See, they love to trap you with their words, those empty promises wrapped up in pretty bows, those lies spun so smoothly you almost believe them yourself. They'll smile in your face, make you feel like you belong, like you're one of them. But behind your back, they're scheming, plotting, waiting for you to slip up because deep down, they think you're weak. That's their game, isn't it? Build you up just high enough so they can knock you down when it suits them. They think you're too scared to leave, too dependent on their approval. And oh, how they relish that control. But let me tell you something about trust, kid. Trust, it's not a gift, it's a weapon. A tool they'll use against you the second it benefits them. They'll dangle it in front of your face, make you chase after it like a dog chasing its tail, hoping this time will be different. This time, they'll mean it. But here's where they screwed up. They didn't see what you were capable of. They thought you were soft, pliable, someone who'd keep playing their twisted little game no matter how many times they pushed you down. No matter how many times they spat in your face with those fake apologies. But here's the kicker. The moment you decide to walk away, that's when you win. That's when they lose. Walking away isn't just an act. It's power. It means you're done with their games, their manipulation, their endless cycle of taking without giving. You think they care about you? Ha! No, they don't give a damn about you. All they care about is what you can do for them. It's transactional, baby. Take until there's nothing left of you to drain. And then they toss you aside like yesterday's trash. That's the reality of it. But the moment you realize you don't owe them anything, that's when the whole damn game changes. Walking away isn't just about leaving. It's about tearing down their house of cards. They think they've got control, that they've pinned you into a corner. But once you step out that door, once you step into the unknown, that's when they panic. Oh, they won't show it right away. They'll act cool, like it doesn't bother them. But inside, they're crumbling. Because they never expected you to have the guts to leave. They'll try to twist the narrative, make you feel like you're the bad guy. Selfish, they'll say. Ungrateful, after everything we've done for you. Whining, pleading, guilt, tripping, it's all desperation, kid. Desperation clinging to whatever scraps of power they have left. Don't fall for it. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. You gave them chances more than they deserve. And what did they do? Took advantage every single time. So screw them. Walking away isn't betrayal. It's survival. Now listen close, because this part's important. When you walk away, don't do it halfway. Don't tiptoe out the door like you're afraid of making noise. No. You slam it shut. Burn the bridge if you have to. Make sure they know you're never coming back. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like you've lost everything. But trust me on this. That pain, that emptiness, it's temporary. You'll heal. You'll rebuild. But them, oh, they'll be stuck in the mess they created, wondering how they let someone like you slip through their fingers. It's sad, kid. Tragic, really. You tried to do right by people. Tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, they always show their true colors. And when they do, it's ugly. That's just the way it is. People are selfish. People are cruel. They take advantage of kindness because they mistake it for weakness. But let me tell you something, kindness isn't weakness. Kindness is strength. It takes guts to be kind in a world that rewards the ruthless. But you can't let them take that away from you. You can be kind and still walk away. Ever notice how they always make you feel like you owe them something, like everything they did for you came at a price? That's the trap, kid. They build you up just so they can remind you later it was them who did it. They make you feel like you're in debt, like you can never walk away because you'd be nothing without them. That's how they control you. But here's the reality. You owe them nothing. Not your peace of mind, not your dignity, and certainly not your soul. The moment you realize that, that's when you start to break free. People like that, they feed off your fear, your doubt. They get inside your head and whisper those little lies. You're not good enough without us. No one else will care about you like we do. Smoke and mirrors, kid. Lies meant to keep you tethered to them. The truth is, they're terrified. Terrified that you'll see through the facade. Terrified that you'll realize your worth. Because once you do, their whole world falls apart. The only power they have over you is the power you give them. So stop giving it. Ever wonder why they can't stand it when you start standing up for yourself? When you stop nodding along and start pushing back? It's because it threatens their control. They need you to be small, quiet, compliant. The second you show a bit of backbone, they start to panic. You become unpredictable. And nothing scares people like that more than unpredictability. You don't fit into their neat little box anymore. You become a wild card. And wild cards are dangerous. They'll throw guilt at you like a weapon, try to make you feel like you're the villain for finally choosing yourself. That's how twisted it is. You finally decide to walk away from the mess they created, and suddenly you're the bad guy. But let me ask you something. Who's really at fault here? The one who kept giving or the ones who kept taking without giving a damn in return? Don't let them twist the narrative. Don't let them turn your strength into something shameful. Walking away is the best thing you'll ever do. They don't see it coming, do they? They're so comfortable in their little web of lies, so sure you're not going anywhere that they never even consider the possibility. That's their arrogance. They think they've got you under control, that you'll keep playing along. But what they don't understand is that people like you reach a breaking point. Everyone does. And when that happens, there's no going back. Once you decide to walk away, they can beg, they can plead, but it won't change a damn thing. You might think it's easier to stay to keep the peace, to avoid the confrontation. But let me tell you something. Staying in a toxic situation will eat you alive. It'll drain you bit by bit until there's nothing left of who you were. You'll wake up one day and realize you don't even recognize yourself anymore. That's what they do to you. They strip away your identity, your confidence, your happiness. But you've got the chance to change that. You've got the power to walk away before they take it all. Walking away isn't just about getting out. It's about reclaiming your life. It's about taking back the pieces of yourself they tried to break. Yeah, it'll hurt. Change always does. But that pain, that's the price of freedom. It's the price of starting over. And once you get past it, once you're on the other side, you'll see things clearer than you ever did before. You'll see just how much stronger you are without them. You'll realize that they were the ones holding you back, not the other way around. Let them think what they want. Let them say you're the one who walked away. Let them paint you as the villain in their little story. Because in the end, their opinions don't matter. They never did. They'll try to rewrite the past, try to make you the bad guy. But deep down, they'll know the truth. They'll know that they were the ones who pushed you away. And no matter how hard they try to replace you, no matter how much they deny it, they'll never find someone like you again. Each of these paragraphs focuses on a harsh yet motivational message, adding depth to the character's speech. They emphasize the power and wisdom of walking away from toxic situations. You don't owe them your loyalty. You don't owe them your peace. And you sure as hell don't owe them your soul. You've got to protect that, because if you let them chip away at it, piece by piece, pretty soon there's nothing left of you. And when you finally realize what they've done, it'll be too late. But you're smarter than that. You see the writing on the wall. You know when it's time to cut your losses. And here's the real kicker, kid. Once you're gone, they'll pretend like it doesn't bother them. They'll act like you never mattered, like your absence is just another day in their perfect little world. But that's all at ice and act. See, people like that, they're good at wearing masks, putting on a show for the rest of the world. They'll laugh, they'll smile, they'll carry on like everything's fine. But behind those fake smiles, behind those shallow laughs, there's a storm brewing. Because deep down, when the lights go off and they're left with nothing but the silence and their thoughts, they'll start to realize what they lost. They'll realize that they pushed away the one person who saw them for who they really were, who gave them more chances than they ever deserved. And that's when it'll hit them. That's when the regret starts creeping in, like a slow, agonizing poison. The more time that passes, the more they'll think about it, replaying everything in their heads, wondering how they let it slip through their fingers. But by then it's too late. They'll never have you back. And you'll be long gone, rebuilding your life, stronger and smarter than you ever were before. You'll have scars, sure, we all do. But those scars, they're not marks of weakness. They're proof that you survived, that you endured the worst they could throw at you, and still found the strength to rise again. And while they're stuck in their miserable little world, trying to find a replacement that'll never come close to what you gave them, you'll be free. Free from their lies, their manipulation, their endless cycle of taking without giving. You'll have your peace, your freedom, your sense of self back. And when they come crawling back, and they will come crawling back begging for another chance, pleading with you to reconsider, you'll laugh. Not because you're cruel, but because you finally see them for what they are. Pathetic, small, weak. And you're none of those things anymore. That's the real power of walking away, kid. It's not just about leaving them behind. It's about finding yourself again. It's about reclaiming your life, your strength, your dignity. It's about standing up and saying, I'm worth more than this. I deserve better than this. And once you've walked away, once you've tasted that freedom, there's no going back. You've won not because they've lost, but because you finally realized that you never needed them in the first place. Their biggest mistake was thinking you wouldn't walk away. But now you've walked away and you're never looking back. So what's it gonna be, huh? Are you gonna keep playing their game, letting them string you along? Or are you gonna take control? Are you gonna show them just how wrong they were? Show them that the biggest mistake they ever made was thinking you wouldn't walk away. Because once you do, kid, once you walk away, that's when you're free. That's when you take back the power they stole from you. And that's when they realize they needed you a hell of a lot more than you ever needed them. And don't worry about them. Let them stew in their misery. They'll try to replace you, try to fill the void you left behind, but they'll fail. Because there's only one you. And once you're gone, they'll never get you back. Their biggest mistake was thinking you wouldn't walk away. But now they'll pay for it. Let me tell you something else, kid. You think they're done with you once you've walked away? Oh, no. They'll try to pull you back in, make you feel like the bad guy for leaving. You abandoned us, they'll say, after everything we did for you. But here's the truth. They don't miss you. They miss what you gave them. They miss the convenience of having someone around to prop them up, to clean up their messes, to keep their world spinning without demanding anything in return. That's all it ever was, kid. A transaction. And now that you've stepped out of it, they're scrambling. They'll paint you as the villain because it's easier than admitting they were wrong. Easier than facing the fact that they drove you away. But let me make one thing crystal clear. You are not the villain in this story. You're the survivor. And here's another thing they'll try to rewrite history. Oh, they're good at that. They'll twist the narrative, make it seem like you were the problem all along. If only you'd been more understanding, they'll say. If only you hadn't been so selfish. But you know, you remember the late nights spent listening to their problems while they ignored yours. You remember the times you bent over backward to help them, only for them to take credit or throw it back in your face. You remember the lies, the betrayals, the endless cycle of taking without giving. Don't let them erase that. Don't let them rewrite your story. The truth is your armor, kid. Wear it proudly. Because the moment you stop stop doubting yourself, the moment you stop questioning whether you made the right choice, that's when they lose their last shred of power over you. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Walking away doesn't magically fix everything. There will be days when the weight of it feels unbearable, when the loneliness creeps in and makes you question whether you did the right thing. But let me tell you something. That loneliness, it's temporary. It's the price of freedom. And trust me, it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative, staying trapped in a toxic situation that slowly eats away at your soul. You'll have moments of doubt, sure. Everyone does. But those moments don't define you. What defines you is how you respond to them. Do you let them drag you back into the mess you worked so hard to escape? Or do you stand firm, knowing you deserve better? The choice is yours, kid. And if you're smart, and I know you are, you'll choose yourself every single time. Because here's the thing about walking away. It's not just an act of rebellion. It's an act of self-love. It's saying, I matter. My peace matters. My happiness matters. And once you start living by that mantra, once you start putting yourself first, you'll realize something incredible. You don't need them. You never did. They made you believe you couldn't survive without them, that you were somehow incomplete without their approval. But that was always a lie. A carefully crafted illusion designed to keep you tethered to them. The truth is, you're whole. You've always been whole. And the sooner you embrace that, the sooner you'll see just how powerful you really are. But don't get me wrong, walking away doesn't mean you're invincible. It doesn't mean you won't stumble, won't fall, won't feel the sting of rejection or loss. Of course you will. That's part of being human. But what sets you apart is your resilience, your ability to rise again, even when it feels like the world is conspiring against you. People like them, they want you to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay broken. They thrive on your weakness, your dependence. But you're not weak. You're not dependent. You're a force to be reckoned with. And the moment you fully embrace that, the moment you stop seeking their validation, that's when you become unstoppable. And here's the best part. Kid, the further you get from them, the clearer you'll see. You'll start to notice things you never did before. The way they manipulate others, the way they thrive on drama, the way they feed off chaos. You'll see how toxic they truly are, how destructive their presence was in your life. And you'll wonder how you ever tolerated it for so long. But don't dwell on that. Don't waste your energy regretting the past. Instead, focus on the future, on building a life that's free from their toxicity. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who celebrate your successes, who genuinely care about your well-being. People who don't see you as a pawn in their game, but as a partner in theirs. That's the kind of life you deserve, kid. A life filled with love, respect, and authenticity. Walking away isn't just about escaping them. It's about creating space for something better, something real, something meaningful. And yeah, it might take time to find that. Healing isn't linear, and neither is growth. But every step you take away from them is a step closer to finding yourself, closer to discovering who you are outside of their shadow. And let me tell you something, when you finally do, it's gonna blow your mind. You'll realize just how much potential you have, how much strength you possess, how much light you carry within you. And you'll wonder why you ever doubted yourself in the first place. Remember this, they thought they had you figured out. They thought you'd never leave, never break free from their grasp. But they wrong, dead wrong. And now you're proving it. Every day you spend away from them, every boundary you set, every ounce of self-respect you reclaim, that's a victory. That's you showing them just how wrong they were. That's you taking back the power they tried so desperately to steal from you. And let me tell you something, they'll never recover from that. Never. Because once you've walked away, once you've shown them you're not afraid to stand on your own, they'll realize something terrifying. They needed you far more than you ever needed them. So keep going, kid. Keep fighting, keep choosing yourself, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's when it matters most. That's when you prove to yourself and to them that you're not the person they thought you were. You're not weak. You're not disposable. You're not someone who can be easily replaced. No, you're something far greater. You're someone who knows their worth. Someone who refuses to settle for less than they deserve. Someone who's unafraid to walk away from toxicity, from manipulation, from anything that threatens to dim their light. And that, kid, that's a rare kind of strength. One they'll never understand. One they'll never possess. And that's their loss, not yours. Walking away isn't just leaving them behind it, stepping into a new chapter where you call the shots. It's building a life where no one dictates your worth. It's scary at first, but greatness lies beyond that fear. Keep moving forward. And when they come crawling back, and they willn't fall for it. Words mean nothing without action. Protect your peace. Guard your heart. If they haven't truly changed, they'll only hurt you again. Don't go back. One day, you'll thrive without them, and they'll feel the loss. But that's their burden, not yours. Keep choosing yourself, proving you're not weak or replaceable. You know your worth, and that's a strength they'll never understand.